Well, look, at this time every Thursday, we try to bring you a couple of good news stories. Last week, the big kookaburra had you all in a frenzy. This week, two stories I think you'll love. Ben Brooksby is a farmer from St Helens Plains near Horsham in Victoria. Back in May 2017, he had an idea to educate urban people about food and fibre production and the real farmers bringing meals to the tables of people in the city. So he took his clothes off and took a selfie. He created the Naked Farmer social media movement. He encouraged other farmers to take pictures of themselves, people from rural communities, to get the nation talking about Australian producers putting food on Australian plates. The campaign has gone through the roof. Ben's famous the world over, but now he's focusing on something very close to my heart, the mental health of men and women on the land. Ben Brooksby, the Naked Farmer, is on the line via Skype. He's got his stuff on, I think so. Hey, Ben, where did the idea come from?
G'day. Yeah, it all come from that photo that you just saw of me in the back of a truck full of lentils that a good mate of mine, Emma Cross, actually took. And I was sitting on the tractor and you have too much time sitting on there. So I thought, you know what, let's start an Instagram page and dedicate it to naked farmers. And like you said, it was all about educating on people where our food and fibre actually comes from. But
people in the bush are frustrated, aren't they, that people in the city don't seem to appreciate. I mean, if you don't buy Australian produce, you blokes go broke, we go broke as a nation. So where are you now on this terrible mental health issue?
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, and people, like, even at the moment with this whole corona issue that we've got, people, you know, stores and restaurants and that in the cities aren't buying as much food. So there's a lot of wastage. And around this Penola area where I am currently at the minute, a lot of, you know, pumpkins and potatoes and that are just getting thrown on the ground because it's not getting brought. But, you know, mental health is a huge part of agriculture and a part of all of our lives, and we have to do what we can.
You've got this program, Dob in a Farmer, haven't you, where neighbours or concerned family members can nominate someone doing it tough. Unfortunately, it's often the only way some farmers can get help. As you say, and I think there's a really strong point, Ben, it takes guts to get your gear off and guts to talk about mental health. It is critical, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's what we're all about. We're all about starting that conversation, and, you know, it does take guts to get our gear off, and it takes guts to talk about mental health, and that's what we're all about, getting that conversation started through, you know, these photos and conversations started even by tonight, by people learning about what the Naked Farmer is. It's going to spark so many conversations, and these photos definitely get your attention too, so I can through your social media.
I just want to make a point here that, Ben, that it's so our viewers understand, in some areas, suicide rates more than double in the bush, that of major capital cities, and farmers say, I'm just going down the back to fix the fence, and they don't come back. Ben, it hit home with you, with friends and an uncle taking their own lives, didn't it? And you're looking for recruits, I think, for a calendar next year, and the funds raised will go to the Royal Flying Doctors mental health program. Is that it?
Yeah, that's right. We're doing an SA tour. So if you're an SA farmer, message us on Facebook or Instagram, and these photos will be going into our 2021 calendar, which is to raise money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, Rural Mental Health.
Great stuff. Good on you, Ben. It's brilliant. I know it's a tough life on the land, but good on you for doing something to help those around you and around the country. There he is. The social media straps have been along the bottom of the screen during the interview. The best place to find Ben is via Facebook, The Naked Farmer, and if you're doing it tough and need to speak to someone, call Lifeline 13 11 14 or Beyond Blue 1300 22 46 36. Now, look, I know most of us are stuck ridiculously behind state borders. I might do something next week on the constitutional issues associated with closing borders, by the way. I'm getting ahead of myself. A bloke I know was driving from Melbourne to Sydney last month, back in the good old days before borders were closed. He arrived at Gundagai about 5 p.m. and he thought, oh, bugger it, I'll stop in town and I'll have a beer and a feed and I'll do the rest of the drive tomorrow. He pulled into town, he bought a beer, and he was talking to a local. And my mate said he wanted somewhere to stay the night. And the local suggested Flash Jacks. And my mate said, what, like Flash Jack from Gundagai, which is the Banjo Patterson poem? And the local said, exactly. Half an hour later, our tired and weary traveller pulled up outside a boutique hotel in Gundagai, Flash Jacks. I'll get to the name in a minute. But the owner, David Ferguson, is on the line. David, welcome. Welcome. We're going to show some photos of the hotel while we talk. Am I right? You're a 9-room boutique hotel.
Yep, that's correct, mate. 9-room boutique hotel. We opened up in the middle of the sort of COVID lockdown, and we've been operating now for about 2 and a bit months.
And it was at, what, an 1888 convent set above the town on a large block, and you've tried to keep the hotel, I think, as Australian-themed, using Flash Jack of Gundagai, that's the poem made famous by Banjo Patterson, as your inspiration. Now, there's lots of woolen timber and native plants in the garden. That's an ode to the pioneers, isn't it? Have a look at the pictures here. It's pretty good. How many do you sleep? 20 people?
Yeah, so about 20 to 22, depending on configurations. But yeah, no, we've tried to sort of springboard off the wool and the pioneer sort of thing. Gundagai's got obviously a very rich history with pioneers. Being a very early town where Sturt and Human Hovel and all those sort of explorers have been through.
Yes.
And we've been sympathetic to that.
And you're wanting to open a restaurant, I think, in the old schoolhouse. And then I think this lovely thing, you want to be a training school for hospitality for local kids. Now, I understand you and your wife, Amelia, are running a business at your farm, Kaimo Estate, which is 7,000 acres, sheep and cattle just outside town. So what, you've got weddings and accommodation and everything there?
Yep, that's right, mate. So
Look at it.
Generally, we run about 24 weddings a year. My wife is in charge of that, Amelia. And then we've got cottages and a set of shearers' quarters and, yeah, these 3 eco huts.
This is brilliant. Correct. This is brilliant. And you and Amelia moved home from Noosa, I think, about 8 years ago to run your mum and dad's farm, and you got the idea to turn it into an agri-tourism business. So you've gone from, what, 2 full-time employees, now full-time, 1 part-time, and about 16 casuals.
Correct. And we're hoping to expand that. We're hoping that once we get a bit more traffic into Flash Jacks, that we might be able to put on another 10 or so, and then if we can get the restaurant going, there might be another, who knows, sort of 15 to
Gundagai.
20 employees in there. Yeah.
Fantastic. David, well done. There he is, David Ferguson. He owns with his wife Amelia Flash Jacks, a boutique hotel in Gundagai. A young couple, I think it's a good story, good news story, having a crack, turning an old convent in Gundagai, if you're driving through on the way to Melbourne, oh, well, hopefully you will be, into a boutique hotel, and the farm stay looks flash as well. And the story behind Flash Jack, Banjo Patterson published a version of the poem, Flash Jack from Gundagai, in a book in 1905. The shearer's boasting about his ability with the shears. And the chorus of sorts goes, all among the wool, boys, all among the wool, keep your blades full, boys, keep your blades full. I can do a respectable tally myself whenever I like to try, and I'm known around the country town as Flash Jack from Gundagai. There you have it. Flash Jack from Gundagai. You'll find David and Amelia at flashjacks.com.au. And that, as I say, is a good news story.